Church family and friends, thank you for joining me again for this 3-Minute Thursday devotion. First, I want to invite you to our Good Friday service that will be tomorrow evening, Friday, April the 7th. It'll begin at 6:30 at the church, 6:30 p.m., so I'll see you then. This is a service that's a wonderful time to slow down, pause, take time to reflect on the magnitude of what Jesus did on our behalf. Everything about his coming, his birth, his life, his ministry, all of it led up to that particular day when he willingly took our sin upon himself and died on the cross that we would be saved. So I hope to see you tomorrow evening for this very important worship service. And this is Holy Week. It's the week leading up to Easter Sunday. And today is known as Maundy Thursday or Holy Thursday. Maundy is a word from Latin that simply means commandment or mandate. And so what command was that? Well, it was when Jesus told his disciples in John 13:34, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I've loved you, you also are to love one another." So today on Holy Thursday, we commemorate that, but also we commemorate a couple of other things that Jesus did. He ate his last Passover supper with his disciples, and he washed his disciples' feet. Let me read from John 13. "Now before the feast of the Passover was over, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world and to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. And during supper, when the devil had already put it into the heart of Judas Iscariot, Simon's son, to betray him, Jesus, knowing that the Father had given all things into his hands, and that he had come from God and was going back to God, rose from supper. And he laid aside his outer garments, and taking a towel, tied it around his waist. Then he poured water into a basin and began to wash the disciples' feet, and to wash them with the towel that was wrapped around him." And one of the things that I think often that gets lost on us is not so much what Jesus was doing, washing his disciples' feet, though that's a very significant thing in and of itself. And it was obviously incredibly shocking to his followers, but it wasn't so much what Jesus was doing, but who was doing it. And this is what I think often gets lost on us. Even though he was their rabbi, their teacher, master, this wasn't just another man washing their feet. This was the God-man, the Word who became flesh, Emmanuel, God with us. God himself, Yahweh, the great I am, the one who told Moses, "I am that I am." This was God himself, incarnate in the person of Jesus Christ, who had stooped down on his knees, taking the dirt-caked feet of his disciples and followers and washing them. The one who had said, "Let there be light," and there was light. The one who created everything there is, seen and unseen, he was bowing down and taking water which he had created and applied it to the feet of the ones who he had created in his image. And he was cleansing away the dirt that he had also made and which he used to make man in the first place. Isn't it not what we expected? Our expectations of God are typically one of glory and power. We knew God. If we knew God was coming, what would we expect, and how would we expect him to come? Probably on a war horse with a dazzling entourage or maybe a highly decorated robe. But our notion of God isn't that way. That's not how he came to us. He came to us as a servant, not marching in with a dazzling entourage, but leading a ragtag band of simple disciples, and not wearing a highly decorative robe, but wearing a towel wrapped around his waist as a servant would wear. That's how our God has come to us. So where do we expect to find God? Well, we look for him in the humble places, not the mighty palaces and on majestic thrones. We look for Jesus in the palace of the manger and on the throne of the cross. So I want you to know for certain that God came down to meet your need for the forgiveness of all your sins. And he has come to you in this way, not on a throne of glory, but on the throne of his cross. And what he did on that cross, what we will remember in our Good Friday service tomorrow evening, was to take all your sins upon himself, so that there is now nothing left for you to do to be saved and reconciled to the God who made you. By Jesus' death, he has saved you completely. So trust and believe in the finished work of Jesus on the cross for you. God bless you, Pennington. I love you very much.